Well, the thing I definitely did not expect to happen in December, even with the Canucks record, I still held hope that Quinn Hughes would re-sign with his team, but he's been traded to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Zeev Boyum, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a 2026 first-round pick. That's Minnesota's. Man, nothing really else to say in the intro. This is definitely going to be a big part of the video, so let's hop through the games real quick as we played two games this week. Well, how's it going, guys? Welcome to This Week in CanucksLand, where today we go over the games from this past week. And yeah, sorry if I'm off the rails a little bit. Quinn Hughes got traded. It's a big video. Yeah, it sucks. But let's hop into the games. We could talk about it after. We would start off with a game against the Detroit Red Wings, where the Vancouver Canucks wouldn't start off good as the puck would get sent in front, and JVR would put it in on the rebound. The Red Wings would pick up yet another one as Kane would send it to DeBrincat. He'd send it to ASP. ASP would put it in front to Kopp. He would redirect it home, and they would take a 2-0 lead. They would make it 3-0 as ASP yet again would fire one from the point. It would be tipped by Nate Danielson and in, and then Dylan Larkin would pick up the empty netter. And yeah, I went through that game quick because we're going to be talking about the Quinn Hughes trade in a bit after this next game. But yeah, it was just not a fun game to watch. Getting blown up 4-0 by John Gibson, a goaltender who's had Vancouver's number for a good portion of his career. So yeah, we would move on to the game against the Buffalo Sabres where the puck would be sent out to the point, and Dahlin would fire it past Demko. They would take a 1-0 lead. The Canucks would strike back, though, with Sherwood putting the puck in front. It would come out to Garland. He would try to get it on goal. It bounced out to Sherwood. He would put it off a player and in. Very broken play, but on the power play, Sherwood would pick up one. And then Sasson would pick one up as he would skate in, and he would put it 5-hole with his Sasson speed, and the Canucks would take a 2-1 lead. That's the only time we would lead this week. And in this game, as Thompson would be left wide open in the middle, and he would absolutely snipe it past Thatcher Demko, who was back for this game. And then they would pick up one more as Zach Benson would get a one-time goal, and the Vancouver Canucks would lose 3-2 to the Buffalo Sabres, going 0-2 this week and 0-2 in the last week that we would have Quinn Hughes. It's time to talk about it. It's time to give my full educated thoughts. They have played one game since then, but remember, I don't talk about those games. That happened on Sunday, so that will be in next week's This Week in CanucksLand. We'll go through the whole road trip, and it would be like the first week without Quinn Hughes. So yeah, we would get Zeev Boyum in the trade with Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick. Now, Rossi's been connected with the Vancouver Canucks for quite some time now, as he was rumored to be in trade talks with the Vancouver Canucks for the whole summer, and apparently the package that has leaked was that the Vancouver Canucks, Minnesota Wild, I think, were asking for Atu Ratu, Archer Shilovs, and the 15th overall pick in the draft, which eventually became Braden Coots. So it was good that we didn't make that deal. I didn't like, taking the asset of, Ratu, Shilovs, and that pick and just combining them into Rossi, even if Rossi is good. We get Rossi in a package, and we also get Liam Ogren, who hasn't gotten a point in the season so far in the NHL. He did pretty good in the AHL when he did get sent down to there. If he does continue to struggle, I could see him being an Abbotsford. Apparently, he looked pretty decent in the first game. Like, he looked serviceable. We'll see. He could be a really good middle six guy for us in the future. Rossi's going to be that 2C. The first round pick, it's probably going to be a late one. We could pray for a miracle, but it's probably going to be a late first round pick. So, yeah. And this is the big piece. It's Zeev Boyum. He's a left-handed defenseman. He's going to be our left-handed defenseman of the future. And we went from a left-handed defenseman of the future to the now and future to the left-handed defenseman of the future. Hopefully he's able to develop pretty good and just be the good, solid number one guy. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. He shouldn't have too much pressure put on him, although I do think he's had better stats than Quinn Hughes did in NCAA and in juniors, World Juniors and like tournaments and stuff like that. We shouldn't put high expectations on him and expect him to be the player Quinn Hughes is. We should expect him to be a good number one guy. That's all I can ask. And if him and Hronek are a defense pair of the going through the rebuild and going out of the rebuild. I do not mind that at all. Um, yeah, it just sucks losing. What we're giving up is the number, arguably, arguably the number one defenseman. Probably most people would say the number two defenseman in the NHL right now. And yeah, the greatest player we've ever had in franchise history. I want to clear that up. I didn't mean the greatest player of all time. I meant the greatest player, our greatest player of all time when I was talking in the TikTok. Literally one word, and it went from me being like, he's better than any player who's ever played, to the best player that the Vancouver Canucks have ever had. Yeah, thank you, Quinn. I will do my thank you in a bit. But yeah, just it sucks. It sucks. It's very hard to put it into words. Still, I feel like I'm gonna do a whole podcast video breaking down the ins and outs of the Quinn Hughes drama and leading up to the trade and everything that we didn't know to what we did know to didn't know leading up to it until the eventual trade. I feel like that'll be a fun podcast video. I feel like I'll do that. And also, I figured out the Wednesday series. I don't know what I'm going to do it on. There's Hockey League Manager, which is a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more fun. And then there's NHL 26. I feel like I might do NHL 26. A post Quinn Hughes Vancouver Canucks rebuild is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it in the way of, I'm going to sim up to December 12th, trade Quinn Hughes, and then yeah, because I think the trade will go through in NHL, so I'll do it. But yeah, that's it for really the news. Lekkermaker got sent down. Reichel got sent down. Reichel cleared, but he hasn't been assigned to Abbotsford yet. I'm assuming they're waiting until after this Wranglers game. They might assign him, or they're also looking for a trade partner, so we can see that happening soon. Let's hop into the 3 stars. The 3 stars of the week. It's very, very, very hard to do it. There was 2 goals, meaning there was only potential of 3 times 2, 6 points for the players. So Cooper Sherwood is your 3rd star with 1 goal, 0 assists, 1 point. Okay, Sasson is your 2nd star with 1 goal, 0 assists, 1 point. They both got the goals, so I just put them up there. We only played 2 games, but we didn't score in the first game, so it's hard to do 1st stars. And the 1st star of the week is Quinn Hughes. It's the last time he'll ever be a star of the week. He had 0 goals, 1 assist, 1 point. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you for all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into this team. Thank you for all the things you've done off the ice, all the things you've done on the ice. Believing for as long as you did. I know you wanted to leave, and that's not your fault. The next part is I'm sorry. I'm sorry ownership couldn't get a good management team a competent management team to build around you. Apologies that those management teams couldn't build a good enough team to convince you to stay. Mainly on ownership, a lot on management, and yeah, I'm sorry that everything went down the way it had to do for you to eventually leave and not be a Vancouver Canuck anymore. But yeah, thanks, Quinn. Thank you. Yeah, the last time he'll ever be 1st star. The next week, let's hop over to ESPN. The next week, of games. So the game against the New Jersey Devils, which has been played, you guys know how it's gone so far. Way to go, Zeev. The New York Rangers, we play on Tuesday, and then we play the Islanders on Friday, going into a back-to-back to play the Boston Bruins on Sunday. So we got 4 games next week. We're getting back to where I usually scheduled a bunch of games, which is nice. Next week is 2 after that, so we go from 2, 4, 2. So at least we'll have a nice 4-game slate next week for This Week in CanucksLand to go over the first a bit without Quinn Hughes. But yeah, I set a goal to try to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this upcoming season. If you're a Canucks fan and you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. A little bit of a sadder video or slower energy because of the whole situation and just my feelings about it. But yeah, leave a like and comment. Let me know what you guys thought about the trade. I still need to gather my thoughts, and I feel like the whole podcast video. I'll drag it out. I'm gonna drag it out. But yeah, the video on your right is the video from Friday. The video on your left is the video from Monday. Subscribe's right down under there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.